Hello everyone. Today I thought I'd do a video, a hits and misses for November, because I realise it's been more than 3 weeks since I filmed our fragrances I wore the last week. So to just bring it all together, I thought I'd do a November hits and misses. I have mostly hits, of course, and there are 2 misses. So if you'd like to see the fragrances I've worn over November, the highlights and the lowlights, please stay tuned. First of all, I wanted to mention this one from LFA, which is Moara. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. I haven't mentioned this one too often. Whoops, nearly dropped my testing strip. I haven't mentioned this one that often, I don't think, in the videos, because I've not worn it that much, but I gave it a proper wear. Really like it. This is a hit, and it's got some wonderful staying power. I will tell you what the experience is like wearing this for me, and then I'll let you know what the notes are. It is a deep kind of spicy fragrance, Moara. It's delicious. And we were fortunate this last month, November, that it was cooler here in Australia for much of the country, I think, than it normally is. So that transition, that springtime going into summer, was cooler here. So able to wear some heavier scents. It's not like that now, but for some of November it was cooler. This is spiced fruits. It's like dried fruits that have been rehydrated in alcohol, in rum, say. And that beautiful, deep, resinous, spiced fruits lasts for much of the fragrance, on and off. The fragrance does change. It's not linear, but certainly at the opening and for a good hour, it's this delicious, rummy, plummy, a whole range of spiced fruits like orange peel, all this kind of thing, cinnamon, those kind of spices. Very much a nighttime fragrance. What I would point out with Moara is that it changes through the wear. There's a period of time, like 1 or 2 hours in, where lavender comes out in this fragrance. And that makes it much more unisex leaning masculine. It does become more masculine, but then oddly it goes back to being kind of more woody, sweet fruits later on into the dry down. But there is a period of time there where it's slightly barbershoppy, and I can only assume that's the lavender coming out. I'm going to run through the notes. So we have saffron, lavender, blood orange, bergamot at the top. There are other fruits at the top. There's definitely plum or something like that. In the middle, black pepper, cashmeran, rose, and on the base, patchouli, sandalwood, cedar, labdanum, and musk. It's really, really nice, really deep, and it lasts a long time, but changes over the duration. If you like that kind of fruity, deep fruity spices, very much unisex. And as I say, there's a period of time where this to me leans a little masculine, but I didn't mind it. I would wear this in the future, in the cooler weather, dressed up going out of an evening. And of course, it's a bargain, this one. It doesn't cost a lot. So that is Moara Violet Alpha. Absolute hit going to warmer weather on a warm day here. And gosh, I appreciated this. This is Elizabeth Arden, 5th Avenue, only NYC. There's so many flankers of 5th Avenue, aren't there? It's been around for a long time, and I believe it's been reformulated. I'm sure it was stronger back in the day, etc. But it was a really hot day this week here, and I'd been testing out fragrances, and I was just sick of it all, and it was hot. I had to go to work, and I just reached for this, and it did the trick. It was so refreshing, so cooling, just darn lovely. It's a very inexpensive fragrance. This is less than $20 Australian, which is, less than, I don't know, it's centimes anywhere else in the world. And I've worn it before and not really appreciated it. Pardon me, I think because I wore it on a really, really hot day, I just enjoyed it so much. There's fruits, there's florals. It's got that, what I understand and remember to be that Elizabeth Arden DNA, like green tea. There's no tea in this, but it reminds me a bit of Elizabeth Arden green tea. I'm not going to go on more about it, except that if, you're looking for an absolute cheapie in the hot weather and you can get your hands on Fifth Avenue only NYC, give it a go. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And this lasted surprisingly long on clothes. I could smell this at the end of the day. I think I resprayed it once during the day, lasted all day. Amazing. That is Fifth Avenue by Elizabeth Arden, only NYC. I really wanted to mention the hits for the evening scents, going to bed scents. And for me, there's two. One of them is Naro Ombre, I believe this is called. This is a great one for the warm weather as well, which is surprising. I'm going to spray that. Yeah, so the Poudre cube, which I've got back there, is a bit much in the warm weather. This one works year round. It doesn't last as long as the Poudre, but it is so lovely. It's got the yellow florals, whereas the Poudre, I think the Poudre has that heavy musk with rose and jasmine maybe. This one's got more your yellow florals, tropical florals, and it's got that, it's an interesting combination of those slightly indolic tropical florals mixed with that Narciso kind of heavy musk, not quite as heavy here. I really enjoyed wearing this to bed several times during the month of November. It's comforting, slightly floral, and not too much in the warmer weather. That is Naro Ombre. The other one, and I've mentioned this one before on this channel, that I love. This is an absolute hit. And again, an affordable gem as well. I wear this to bed often, and that is Fantasy Britney Spears Intimate Edition. This is a vanilla scent, and it's actually surprisingly a really lovely, affordable, let's try here, vanilla scent. Yeah, it opens floral and green. There's a green floral tinge to this, and it gets more vanilla into the dry down. And as I say, it's a surprisingly smooth, quite delicious vanilla in the dry down. It's light and wonderful, but will last several hours. I really, if I do a video on affordable gems for the whole year, this would feature close to the top. It's surprising. I like it a lot. And if I was traveling and could only take a couple of fragrances, this would be one that I would take because I think it's super versatile and doesn't offend people. Very nice and different, like floral green, that's what's still there. Give it half an hour and it's a very smooth, quite nice vanilla. That is Fantasy Britney Spears Intimate Edition. Speaking of vanillas, during the cold part of this month, I was really pulling for KLE 28. I know we all know this one, but gosh, I love it. I just love it. It's this, this could be another one one could travel with. It's so good, and you all know it, so I won't go on about it. It's that warm sugar, brown sugar, vanilla. There's an orchid note in here, but you mostly just get this very warm brown sugar and vanilla. It's great, and my favorite combination that I was wearing, and I wore this to work on cooler days, was Vanilla 28 with Poison Girl EDT. So the lighter wearing Poison Girl, amazing. That was an absolute hit this month. That's Vanilla 28 and oftentimes paired with Poison Girl EDT. I'm going to mention two really quickly that I've mentioned before, but they were hits this month, so I'm going to mention them again. My Euphoria by Calvin Klein. This is the Euphoria release from this year, My Euphoria. I absolutely love this. I wore this date night. It was a casual date. We went to the pub and had steak meal. Very cash, very relaxed. And I wore my Euphoria. It just makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm going out. And I would wear this all year round. I can get away with wearing this in summer. The opening is what I really love. It's very fruity. I believe it's blackcurrant, but as I always say, it reminds me of raspberry. So much of these kind of syrupy, fruity things, I always think raspberry. But absolutely delightful. That strong opening doesn't last, so it settles down, so not going to offend anyone. Puts me in a good mood every single time. That is My Euphoria by Calvin Klein. Other one that I've mentioned more than once on this channel, but I'm going to mention again, and it again is very feel-good, happiness in a bottle. I even wore this to work. I wore this quite a few times earlier in the month of November when it was cooler. And sorry, that is La Vie Belle Intensement. Love it. It is happy. To me, it reminds me of those musk candies. I believe in the US, they're the hard candies, the pastel colored little candies with the messages on. That's what this smells like. It's got, it's got iris in it. It's got the heliotrope in it, which gives it that cool candy quality, I think. I'm really pleased with this. It's been one of the ones I've worn the most this year. That is La Vie Belle Intensement. And another one that I have enjoyed and is new to my collection is Oud Orchid by Mancera. I tested this out this week. There's a video going through the whole my take on the whole experience of Oud Orchid by Mancera, so I won't go into it here. It was a hit. I love it. And really funny, one of the things I mentioned in the video about Oud Orchid was that I was disappointed with the longevity of this. And I wore it for a number of days. I wore this for 4 days, full day wear. And on me, I couldn't really smell it, particularly on skin, after a couple of hours. But I mentioned in the video, I could smell it in the air, would leave the room after spraying it, would come back and smell it. The funny thing is today I did the laundry and the shirts I was wearing to work, when I picked them up to put them in the washing machine, I could smell this on them. So it sticks, but I guess I just wasn't smelling it on my skin. Very, very pleasant. Do check out the video that I did if you're wanting to know exactly what I feel like this smells like, but I'll be wearing this more. It's an all year rounder too, I think. That is Oud Orchid by Mancera. So that brings us to the misses. The hits, we've done the hits, we're on to the misses. And the first one is this one, which is Enticed 2 by Ajmal. I'm just going to spray this. I picked this up, as we do. They're so affordable. They're so affordable that you just throw another one in. And thinking, and no, this Enticed 2 has received some positive feedback on YouTube, I think. It's not for me. It's the kind of florals in it. On Fragrantica, it doesn't go into what the floral notes are. And I get a lot of Lily of the Valley, which I'm not a fan of Lily of the Valley. I don't think I've ever been a fan of Lily of the Valley. I recently got my nose on the original Gucci Bloom, the early one. So the one in the peachy coloured bottle. I think this might be inspired on that original Gucci Bloom. And when I smelled Gucci Bloom in the last week or two, I wasn't a fan of that either, and not a fan of this. Those kind of, especially Lily of the Valley kind of white florals, it all smells a bit dated to me. I haven't given this a fair go, so maybe I'll try it again. But if a family member was here and said they liked this, I would say you can have it. yeah, it's an interesting one. It's pretty. It's very pretty. And I will try it again. That is Enticed 2 by Ajmal. Which brings us to Miss, which I have given a jolly good go. I don't think there's a lot left in here. This is Florist by Ellis Brooklyn. And the main reason it's a miss is the longevity. As far as the fragrance goes, the smell, I really like it. It's a lot better, even though it's, I would say it's in a similar family to the Ajmal Enticed 2. This is much more appealing to me, and it's more contemporary. There's fruits in it. I think this smells a lot like Sun Fruit by Ellis Brooklyn. There's that similar fruity kind of notes. It doesn't last long. I wore this driving somewhere earlier in November and woof, vanished. Sprayed it on again, woof, vanished. So yeah, that's frustrating because it's nice, but very poor longevity. That is Florist, a recent release by Ellis Brooklyn. That is November's hits and misses. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're having a good weekend. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.